Welcome to Sheikh Hamdan's Fans official channel, your premier destination for the latest updates on the captivating life of Sheikh Hamdan and the intriguing royal family dynamics. Recently, Sheikh Hamdan shared a romantic poem on his Instagram account, and today we're thrilled to present to you the English translation of this heartfelt masterpiece. Stay connected, and let the eternal joy of love envelop you. As she stood before the mirror, enveloped in the ivory silk wedding dress she once adored, the words of her fiancé still echoed in her mind like a haunting melody. "I'm excited to see you as my bride," he had whispered, his voice brimming with love, warmth, and certainty. But now, as she gazed at her reflection, she felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The dress, once a symbol of her dreams, now felt suffocating, its delicate lace and silk a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing within her. The memories came flooding back, like a tidal wave crashing against the shores of her heart. The phone call she wasn't meant to hear, the whispers behind her back, the averted gazes of his friends, all the pieces had fallen into place, revealing a truth she couldn't ignore. The man waiting for her at the altar harbored a secret, one that threatened to shatter the very foundations of their love. As the knock at the door pierced the air, she felt her heart racing, her pulse pounding in her temples. 5 minutes, a soft voice called out, echoing the ticking clock in her mind. She had a choice to make: to walk down the aisle, donning a mask of happiness, or to shatter the illusion and set herself free. The voices outside the door grew louder, a cacophony of excitement and anticipation, as the guests awaited the ceremony's commencement. But she remained frozen, her heart suspended in time, as she grappled with the ultimate decision. As she stood poised at the threshold, the weight of her decision hung precariously in the balance. The man waiting for her at the altar had professed his undying love, his excitement to behold her as his bride. Yet, the bitter taste of betrayal lingered on her lips, a constant reminder of the truth she had unearthed. Her heart racing like a wild animal, she clenched her fists, the fabric of her wedding dress rustling softly. The signs had been there all along, like whispers in the wind, the late-night texts, the frequent business trips, the furtive glances at his laptop. She had chosen to ignore them, to believe in the fantasy he had woven. But the truth, like a thief in the night, had stolen its way into her heart. The memory of last night's revelation still seared her mind like a branding iron. The text message, innocent enough on the surface, had unleashed a torrent of emotions. "I can't believe tomorrow is your wedding day. Does she know?" The words had danced on the screen, taunting her, as she felt her world crumbling around her. And then, his response, a cold, calculated lie. "She doesn't, and she never will." The room around her began to spin, as she felt the weight of his deception crushing her. She had stood there, frozen, as he emerged from the bathroom, his eyes sparkling with innocence, his lips curved into a tender smile. The hypocrisy had been suffocating, the pain almost unbearable. Now, as she stood in her wedding dress, the echoes of those words still lingered, a haunting reminder of the choice she had to make. A knock at the door shattered the silence, and she felt her heart skip a beat. "Baby," his voice called out, steady and expectant, like a man who had never betrayed his beloved. She sucked in a sharp breath, her pulse racing with anticipation. He was excited to see her as his bride. Little did he know, she was about to give him a moment he would never forget. With a deep breath, she unleashed the storm, her fingers flying across the screen as she hit send. The notifications that followed were like a ticking time bomb, echoing through the hallway as the truth began to unravel. The message she had sent was not just a revelation, but a revolution, a declaration of freedom from the shackles of deception. The screenshots of the incriminating texts, once hidden from her eyes, are now laid bare for all to see. The proof of his betrayal, the lies, the secrets, all exposed, like an open wound. The silence that followed was oppressive, a heavy blanket that suffocated the air. Then, the whispers began, a cacophony of confusion and shock. His voice, once smooth and charming, now cracked with rage as he demanded to know what she had done. The door burst open, and he stood before her, his face red, his eyes blazing with fury. But she stood tall, her heart pounding, her pulse racing like a wild animal. She felt powerful, unafraid, as she met his gaze without flinching. "What the hell did you do?" he hissed, his phone clenched in his fist like a weapon. She smiled, a cold, calculated smile, as she replied, "I did what you should have done. I told the truth, His hands shook, his jaw tight with rage, as he spat out the words, "You ruined everything." But she laughed, a bitter, hollow laugh, as she countered, "No, you did that the moment you decided I wasn't enough." The air was thick with tension as he stood before her, his eyes desperate, his voice cracking as he whispered, "Please, let's just pretend none of this happened." But she was unforgiving, her fury breaking through like a dam. "Pretend?" she snapped, stepping toward him. "You want me to walk down that aisle, to stand in front of everyone, and lie to myself again?" His eyes pleaded, but she was unmoved, her heart hardened against him. As she stood tall, her anger and relief intertwined like the threads of a rich tapestry, she knew she had made the right decision. The silence that followed his feeble attempt to justify his actions was all the confirmation she needed. With a deep breath, she turned toward the door, her chin held high, and her heart full of conviction. "I hope you enjoyed seeing me in distress," she said, her voice steady and calm, as she brushed past him. "Wait," he choked out, grabbing her wrist, but she yanked it free, her eyes blazing with determination. "I'm not the one who did this." With that, she stepped out into the hallway, where a crowd had gathered, their whispers and gasps a testament to the drama that had unfolded. But she didn't look back. Instead, she walked away, her head held high, her heart full of relief. The weight that had once pressed upon her chest was gone, replaced by a sense of freedom and empowerment. A year had passed since that fateful day, and she had never been happier. The aftermath of the wedding that never was had been glorious, with his family scrambling to apologize for his actions, and his friends too ashamed to face her. She had taken that heartbreak and turned it into power, packing her bags and traveling the world, rediscovering who she was outside of him. Today, she stood on the beach, the soft white sand beneath her feet, the sound of waves crashing gently against the shore. The sky was painted in streaks of pink and gold, as the sun set over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the celebration. She sipped her cocktail, feeling the taste of citrus and freedom dance on her tongue, as she watched people laugh and dance under the twinkling string lights. "Still can't believe you turned your almost wedding day into an annual party," her best friend teased, handing her another drink. She smirked, clinking her glass against her friend's. "Why not? I could have spent today mourning the past, but I'd rather celebrate my future." Her friend grinned, and she felt a sense of peace wash over her. No regrets, no heartbreak, no looking back. The man who had betrayed her was nothing more than a bad memory now. She was happy, she was free, and most importantly, she was finally choosing herself. As she gazed out at the ocean, she felt the warmth of the setting sun on her skin, and the cool breeze in her hair. It was a moment of perfect peace, a moment that she had earned after a year of hard work and self-discovery. She thought back to the girl she used to be, the girl who had been blinded by love and deceived by lies. That girl was gone, replaced by a strong, independent woman who knew her worth and wasn't afraid to stand up for herself. The music started up again, and she felt a tap on her shoulder. It was her best friend, grinning from ear to ear. "Time to celebrate," she exclaimed, pulling her onto the dance floor. And celebrate what they did, under the stars, with the sound of the waves crashing in the background. It was a night she would never forget, a night that would go down in history as the best non-wedding party ever. And as she danced the night away, she knew that she had made the right decision, and that she was exactly where she was meant to be. As we conclude this journey of self-discovery and empowerment, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for being part of this experience. Your love, support, and connection mean the world to me, and I'm honored to have shared this moment with you. If you've been inspired by this story, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and leaving a comment below. Your engagement is the fuel that keeps my heart and creativity soaring. Thank you again for being an incredible community, and I look forward to sharing more inspiring content with you in the future.